Good afternoon, everybody. Tracy here, and I want to thank you for joining me today in my trade review. It is October 11th, 2020, and it is Thanksgiving here in Canada. So, shout out to all of my friends, family, and traders that live in Canada. Happy Thanksgiving, and I hope you're enjoying your time with family and wonderful feasting and great company and great food. So, have a great weekend, everybody. And like I said, happy Thanksgiving. And so I am a mentor with real life trading. And if you're interested in learning a little bit more about how we trade, check out reallifetrading.com. And yeah, we'd love to have you. There's a ton of free education on that site, as well as whatever I post here. And you can find more on the Real Life Trading YouTube channel. Tons of great content. There's some great traders there, so check us out. And yeah. So today what I wanted to talk about is a trade I took with AMGN on the 8th of October. And I want to go over kind of what I look for pre-market, how I set up my targets, how I set up my zones or where I want to be looking for a trade setup. And hopefully we can learn something from this. So first thing that I did was check out the broader market. On the broader market on the 8th of October was gapping up. Just about everything I found was gapping up. There was only one trade that I saw, possibly two, but this was my favorite as far as something different from the regular market. And I was looking at this. Now it wasn't clearing a great gap, but it was clearing a gap. This was a bullish day the day before, so we had a gap down this morning, and you can see that it was gapping. I just put this mark right here to indicate the pre-market where it was going to be opening up. You can see it was clearing the 10 and the 20 on the daily, which is a decent resistance or support level, I should say. So we had buyers the day before. They're trapped. It gaps down. Anyone that bought in this area here that was still in it would be trapped. And after this made another attempt to go higher. So we had a new low right here. It comes up here, but it doesn't make a new high. It can't break that high. So at that point, this could be a double top. It could be just a failed attempt. It could stay in this consolidation. It's kind of in a consolidation, so this could be the top of that consolidation. So the people that were hoping that this might be breaking out, this could be the last straw. Who knows? They might end up selling. There's a lot of reason to suggest that maybe people that were in here might get out. And the fact that this didn't make a new high, wasn't able to break through this resistance here, suggested that perhaps it might be going lower. So I was looking at this, and I basically said to myself that this is a support level, the 10 and the 20. There's an area where buyers could be stepping in. It's possible. There's a lot of buyers that buy off the 10 and the 20, but this isn't a consolidation. So my plan was, as long as it stayed below the 20, there was room for it to go lower. And I set my trade up so that my entry was in and around this area here, like I said, and my exit was at this pivot. And I set it and I forget it. I walked away. I didn't babysit it. Now today, when I do the back trade, what I want to do is actually babysit it. I want to walk through and see where we could have been moving our stops, maybe get a bigger gain out of it. But overall, like I said, I set my target, which was this pivot, and I just let it run, and it hit the target, exited the trade for a decent gain. So what am I looking for in the morning? The first thing I was looking for was, what is the broader market doing? Is it gapping up? Is it gapping down? It was gapping up. This was gapping down, so this was something different. I didn't think it was going to trade with the overall market. I thought it had its own independent catalyst that was allowing it to move independently from the rest of the market. So I thought that was a good strength as far as a move lower. It was a bearish gap and go, which meant that there were buyers the day before that were trapped. It was gapping below a resist or a support level. These are 3 check marks for me right off the bat that say, hey, this is a good setup for me. So the next thing that I do is, and the other thing is I had room to go. So there was space between where I wanted to enter and where I would be exiting. There was space that allowed me to get a decent risk reward. So the next thing I did was I basically went over to the 2-minute chart, and there's the first 2-minute candle. Now you can see that the 2-minute candle, so this was the line, this was representative of the 20 EMA on the daily, that I wanted to make sure that price stays below here. Now, I didn't want to take a low of day break, not yet anyway. So what I did is I waited another 2 minutes, and this candle comes in. Now you've got almost a tweezer bottom and almost a tweezer top. So nice little consolidation here. Once this candle came in though, I was prepared to take the low of day break, and I set my trade up something along these lines here. And I had a bigger stop, so because I think it was about 1.2627 right there. So I set my trade up right in this particular area, and I played with a loose stop, and that's just my style of trading. Sometimes I'll play with a tighter stop, but most of the time I play with a looser stop. I want to be able to limit my losses to less than 1 R, but I've been leaving them and not trading. I've been setting it and forgetting it a lot lately because I've been doing better doing that way than managing the trade. But anyway, I set the trade up here. We've got a bullish candle. Next candle that comes in is another inside day candle, and I thought that was really good. And before I continue, I want to just switch over to my other indicator setup, which has the VWAP on it. So let me just set this up. So now we've got the 10 EMA on the 2-minute chart coming down, and we've got the VWAP sitting right around here. And I do not trade with the pre-market on. So right now this candle is holding above the VWAP. My entry is below the VWAP, and it's a low of the day break right now. I left it at there, or at that. My whole expectation of this trade was it needs to be below this 20. Right now it's sitting above the 20. So if it breaks higher, chances are this is a support level that's going to hold, not a new resistance level. So I'm waiting to see. I want to see this either consolidate a little bit more or break lower. So the next candle that comes in, another indecision candle holding above the VWAP, but it's still not. It's not really breaking any. It did break the high just barely. I think this was 250. 249.99 and 250.06. So it broke the high by 6 cents, which traps. I'm sure there's some people that went long on that, and they're trapped now. So this was good. I'm still in the setup. There I get filled. I get filled on this candle, but it closed back up this way, but it stayed below the 20, which was good. So I'm thinking, all right. I didn't like the fact that it didn't close below the low of the day. That showed that perhaps I might be trapped, but I'm still in the trade for now. Another lower entry, or sorry, another a lower low, which is nice. It makes a lower low. It's holding below the VWAP, but still not really closing below. There's getting some buying coming in. Then this candle comes in. Okay, well definitely there's some buyers here, but again it cannot break that higher support. Tries again, and it's still, the volume's picking up, but they cannot break that higher resistance level. So this is a good resistance level. Now, if you were in this trade and you were managing your stop, this would be a good time to possibly lower the stop down into this area. I wouldn't right now because the 10 EMA is still coming down. But honestly, if this breaks higher, it has more chance of running. This could be a support level. So this is a chance that you could move your stop here. I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it for now. And there we get, again, that resistance level is holding. It's not breaking lower, but we've got buyers coming off of VWAP. So they're definitely trying to buy this up, but it's not very strong. This starts to come lower, again, not breaking the low. And then we get a decent break with a decent close coming in here. You've almost got a double top on the 2-minute. Tries again to get bought back up, and now you've got your 10 EMA moving in and squeezing this thing, which is really good because now you've got this really good squeeze. Now, if you hadn't entered this trade yet, this would have been a good entry is right in here, and you could have tightened up the stop. So put your entry in at the 248.77 with a stop just above the 258.31 or 250.31 mark. Would have given you good risk reward. Could have done that on the breakdown, followed by an inside candle. Like I said, you're getting this squeeze coming in between the 10 and the VWAP. And there's the breakdown, which is really good. So now if you are in the trade, you can move your stop down. Like I said, I'm aiming for this 244.02 mark. That's where I had my trade set up. And I'm not going to exit the trade at this point with the doing the back trading, because I want to see if I can manage it better. Now, there's one thing that I do want to do before we continue. So let me just go back to this, because I do want to take some extra, I want to take some profits. So let's go back to the long term here, and I just want to mark some more levels, because I want to mark this 100 moving day average right here. So let's just do daily 100 right there, and I'll mark the 200 as well, just in case it gets down there. So there's the daily 200, and here's another pivot right here. So we'll just put this as a daily target. So we have first partial can be taken here, second partial can be taken at the daily 100. We get another pivot right here for a third target. Fourth target is this other pivot, and then you've got the daily 200. Now, if it makes it that far, that's pretty cool, and I'll exit all anyway at that stage. But yeah, so let's go back to the 2 minute. And let's get caught back up to where we were. So we've got that 10 EMA coming in, squeezing the VWAP. And let me get back onto these indicators. And there's our breakdown. So now what I'm going to do is, just for the rest of the back trade, I'm going to switch over to the 5 minute chart. We've got a good breakdown on the 5 minute chart, and it's holding below the VWAP, which is really good. Now, I don't want this to really break back up above the VWAP. I want it to hold for now, just for the first probably hour of trading. And we'll see what happens. So again, we've got this, so this candle here, I want to just point this out. This is an indecision candle. There were some buyers that stepped in on the breakdown of this low of day break, basically, and higher volume. You know, if it had broken higher, that would have been good strength, but it broke lower. That shows a lot of weakness. So this to me is breakout volume as well, and trapping volume, like bull traps. So anybody that was buying that low of day break trying to be the dip, and I know there's buyers because we've got a lower wick here. So now I'm just watching for my target to get hit. We've got a little bit of increased volume. It's not super volume. If it was bigger than this volume here, I might think that, okay, maybe this is the end of the move after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bearish candles in a row. But I'm just waiting. We do have a bullish engulfing candle that comes in next, but that's fine. There's people that are taking some profits. I'm not overly concerned at this point. It's not at a support level yet. If it was, I'd be more concerned. We've got another inside day candle. The 10 is just coming down to meet it. Now we've got a nice little pennant pattern showing up on the a bearish pennant pattern on the 5 minute chart. So I'm feeling pretty confident about this trade right now. Again, another inside day candle. Then we've got a retest of the 10. Not huge volume. Immediate rejection. So I like that. Let's see if we can S-curve down. We are starting to S-curve. Now I want to see a new low come in, which we don't have yet. There's the new low on higher volume, but not really at a support. We're still holding below the 10. So at this point, if I get a close above the 10 EMA, I might consider moving my stop down and exiting. But for now, I want to take a partial when it gets to the 244 mark. And as long as it stays below that 10, I will be feeling pretty good about the trade. We're still staying, and there's the target hit. So target 1 has been hit. And now what I would do is I think I'll move my stop down to this pivot. Guaranteed profit on this trade. Let's get rid of this. And next profit level will be at the 100 moving day average. So let's just see if we can't hit our next target. And again, a close of above the 10, which is right there, makes me not quite sure. Maybe this is going to roll over. Let's just see if it, and it gets immediately rejected. So let's wait for another, there's another low day. And now we get a pretty heavy volume candle come in here at this support level. Remember, we identified that support level as a prior pivot. So there's definitely some short sellers that would have entered that breakdown because it was a support level, and we definitely have some buyers. So we'll see which direction this goes. It does go up. That concerns me. This could be a trap. It wasn't a lot of volume that went in, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the stop down to this pivot here. And we get an immediate rejection with a bearish engulfing candle. That's good on low volume, so there's not a lot of strength in there. Increased volume, but nothing substantial. It's staying below this 10. And we're about to hit target number 2. Let's see if we can hit target number 2. And again, if we get a close above the 10, I'll be looking to, there's a close above the 10. So what I want to do is move it down to this pivot here as well. Let's move it down a little bit more and give this some time, because right now it might come back and retest this old support, now resistance, and that's fine with me. If it wants to do that, retest this level, I want to keep my stop above there for now until, and there's target number 2 is hit. So target 2 has been hit, and now we're aiming for target number 3. And the other thing I want to do is watch for the end of the day. So I exit all my trades at 3:30. So let's take a look and see what can happen before then. So what I'm looking for now is target number 3 to get hit, which is 237.81. And in the meantime, I am going to continue to watch this. This is my newest high, which is a lower high. I have a current lower low, so this is still trending really nicely down this 10 EMA. So I'm happy with that. We'll move it again if we get another bullish looking candle. Got a little bit of a Morningstar reversal here, but it's still holding below that 10, and now we get another breakdown. Indecision candle. I think what we'll do is we'll move our stop down to this level here, because at this point, if it retests this prior resistance, I don't want to do that because that'll be breaking this lower high. So now I'm looking for high volume and a reversal candle of some sort, or a double bottom. So here's another close above that 10, but I'm not really seeing a new high put in right now. We've kind of got a high right here, so if it breaks this level, then maybe this will be a new higher high. For now, I'm just going to see what happens. Low vol or high volume again with an indecision. So this is another S curve down. Another huge volume right there. So what I might do is move my stop here, because we're getting close to where I want to exit the trade altogether. That was a pretty high volume candle, so that could be exhaustion, followed by an inside candle. Then we've got a bullish candle and another bullish candle, and I'm going to exit the trade right there anyway. So got stopped out, or trailed out I should say, right there at 240.51. So that is 240.51. That gave this a 2.3R gain. Now that's the way I played it. If you sometimes if I play, tightly, I could have played with my high or my stop just above this, and in that case this would have been a 4.07 trade, which was quite nice. I didn't play it that way. Like I said, I played it with a bigger stop, and in addition to that, I didn't even log the because it was a 1.26R trade, but I only risked a half an R, so I brought in about 0.6R of a gain, and that's just the way I do it. I mean, technically it was a 1.26R trade based on where my stop and my entry were, but I don't calculate my R that way all the time. So I want to keep my R the same, and sometimes I'll reduce how much I'm actually putting on the table. I'll only risk a half an hour, but I only calculate it that way as well. So that was a trade. I thought it was a pretty good trade, and yeah, I think that the setup was good. And I guess the takeaway that I want you to have from this is I went pre-market. I had my level of where I wanted to look for a trade, and that was below the 20 daily EMA, which was this line right here. I wanted to look for a trade. I found the setup that I wanted off the 2-minute. I entered the trade, and then I managed it accordingly. So I exited at my target. But while I was doing the back trading, I managed the trade through my dips and moved it. I wasn't overly aggressive with the stop. I gave a lot of room for the trade to work. And the other thing that I did was I had my levels identified, so I knew exactly where I wanted to take profits and exit the trade and all of that stuff. So that's really the takeaway. That's how to manage your trades effectively, and I find it very successful to do it that way. So yeah, anyway, like I always say, if you have any comments, concerns, questions, feel free to throw them in the comments below. And if you find these videos valuable, then please hit the subscribe and the like button. And otherwise, you guys, remember to check us out at reallifetrading.com. You guys have a great day. Cheers.